Now, could you help us that
Yeah.
what are those, what is it that we can do about these things sitting at home
Yeah.
and maybe easily?
Yes. So, so the main, what I call them as essentials of health. Like if you want your health to be on the better side, if you want the level of toxins to really be removed gradually from your body, you just need to make a certain amount, number of lifestyle changes. And I call them as the 9 essentials. And none of them is less important or more important. Some of these things would just look like something very mundane and simple, but it is very, very powerful. You need to include all these essentials in your daily routine every single day.
Okay. So
And
as they say, Swati, that 80% of our work is done by 20% of the things. So even though you are saying they're mundane and all, but I'm sure they're affecting a lot. So would love to hear more on that.
they are exactly very, very important. For example, when I say the 9 essentials, the first 5 would be nothing but the 5 elements: mitti, pani, dhoop, hawa, the sun, the earth, the water, the air, and the sky. So we have to somehow see to it that every single day we get a dose from all these elements. Somehow we connect with these elements. To begin with, let's talk about the sun. So when I talk about the sun, when I tell people, like, basically we were designed to be out there in nature. We were not supposed to be living in 4 walls constantly. And we just don't not just live in 4 walls, we also close our windows and we have the air conditioning running all the time. So we even cut off the flow of fresh air in our homes, right? So we were supposed to be getting 12 hours of sunlight, 12 hours of moonlight. Like we were supposed to be getting the radiations, the cosmic radiations from nature constantly. But now that's not happening because of the way we live. We live in more civilized societies. So what we need to do is take time out and spend some time out there in the sun and get as much sun on your body as possible, because the sunlight helps in breaking down the toxins in your body.
Oh, wow. But Swati, what about so many times when people, I mean, sunscreens and you shouldn't be out there in the sun because, of course, there are concerns in relation to the complexion and what is that, skin cancer and all of that. Like,
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Good that you brought all this up. Again, the sunscreen is nothing but a marketing gimmick.
okay.
The more you apply the sunscreen and go out in the sun, the chemical reacting with the toxins from your body, which you're going to secrete through your sweat, and that is going to react with the sun's rays again, and that can be an irritant to you, and this may lead to cancer.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
never heard of it that way.
Yes, that is the truth. Because see, it's anything that is chemical is not natural, right? And every single creature out there in nature, every tree, every plant, every bird, every animal is out in the sun constantly.
And it's
Have
not
you
diagnosed
heard of?
skin cancer.
Yes. So have you ever seen some of those creatures suffering with cancer? No.
Hardly, hardly.
And they don't even suffer from any of the health issues that we keep suffering constantly with. And that is because the sun rays is helping the body to constantly break down the toxic matter and helps it to remove it out fast, because the body does not have to rely constantly on its own vitality. It is getting support from the nature in the form of the sun's heat, the sun's radiations.
Right. In
Yes.
fact, Swati, there were studies done, and it was there are certain countries such as UK which do not receive sunlight, and they actually go through a concern known as SAD, which is a seasonal depression condition that
Yes.
they have. And when they come here, they no matter how hot it is, they want to sit outside. They would like
Yes.
to be
Yes.
outside in the sun, and I don't relate to it, but also because we are born and brought up here. But these guys who don't get sun, they die for sun.
Exactly. And the truth is, even if they are living in the UK, they don't need to suffer from this kind of depression or this kind of disease or health discomfort, They just need to go out there because the sun's radiations are still there available for you.
Or even if the sun is not, you can't see it.
Yes, yes. क्योंकि सूरज का उजाला तो है ही ना, धूप की गर्मी नहीं है. There's no warmth, there's no brightness, but the light is still there. It is still daylight. So the radiations are still there. So you still need to go out there and get those radiations if you want to protect your mental health, or if you want to protect your physical health also at the same time.
Right. So so now that we are in India, Swati, is there any particular time at which where it is most potent to expose ourselves to the sun, if we are not able to do it throughout the day?
Yes. As we are not used to the sun's light, as we are not used to the sun's heat, it's safest to go out there in the first 2 hours of the morning or last 2 hours before the sunset, so that you can slowly get your skin used to the heat and the warmth.
Okay.
And every time you sit there, see to it that you stay there until you can feel the pinching in your skin. The moment you can feel that pinching, you can know now my skin has reached its limit. So you can just stop that sun exposure for that moment and again go back into the sun sometime later or maybe the next day. And with time, you'll see that your tolerance starts going up.
Right, right. In fact, I think our elders used to always do that. Like I remember my grandmother and a couple of her friends used to sit out in the sun and eat moongfalis or santaras, depending upon which weather it was.
Yeah, yeah. And one more thing, see, once upon a time, our homes were designed in such a way that most of the time we would be spending time outside and not inside. Inside, we would just come to protect ourselves from the wild animals or the harsh nature when if it was raining or when there was a storm or something. Then to protect yourself, you would be in the four walls. Otherwise, people would be cooking outside, they would be eating outside. Like most of the work was done outside, out in the open.
Yeah. Now we live in concrete jungles.
Yes.
Right. So that's so first essential is the sun. And just to summarize for everybody, first 2 hours after sunrise and the last 2 hours before sunset, these are the most potent times. Slowly and steadily, you must start exposing yourself to the sun if you haven't already. And then when the skin starts pinching, that's your cue that for a day you've had enough, you can move in. But slowly and steadily, you increase it because sun breaks down toxins. Right?
Yes.
Excellent.
And so the tanning, and the tanning is nothing but the body that's the sun that has burnt the toxins on the surface of your skin.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
So that will also go away. That will also.
Yes.
I guess that is why earlier they used to have this natural scrubs, right? Like basin and basically chicken powder or haldi powder to scrub it and stuff. Uptan.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh wow. Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. So top essential sun. What is next?
Yeah. Next will be the air. So how we breathe is also equally important. The way in today's life, what we are doing is like we have so much happening constantly that we actually tend to breathe only to the half. We only fill half of our lungs with every breath that we are breathing, because there's so much constantly going on. We don't even realize that only when you're relaxed, you will be able to take a deep breath. For example, when you see people who are sleeping, when they're in their sleep, you can see that they can take deeper breaths and they breathe longer, right? But when you're awake, very often, if you try to check yourself, you might not be breathing fully at all. You might be your breathing would be very shallow. And this means that the body is not going to get enough air for its metabolic activities, because every metabolic activity that the body needs to do, every breaking down, every nourishing or the absorption or elimination, whatever, it needs the air or the oxygen for all its activities. Right? So when you're going to supply it only half, then imagine अगर आधा ईंधन मिलेगा तो आधा ही काम होगा.
Correct. ये तो है.
Right? Yes. So you have to see to it that you again and again you have to check yourself whether you are taking deep breaths or not. and get yourself into the practice of taking deeper breaths, because the more deeper you're going to breathe, the metabolic activities, all the bodily activities will be happening in a better manner. Very often people have seen that half of the diseases can just go away just by becoming aware of your breathing pattern. Yes. And see to it that it's not like you, yes, and see to it that you're sleeping in a room which is well ventilated. When the room is constantly air conditioned, then you are breathing in the air that you're breathing out constantly, because that's the air that's circulating. And whatever you're breathing out is nothing but the toxic gas that the body has released after the metabolism has happened.
Right, right. So personally for me, Swati, I'm not a fan of AC unless I really need it. My room's AC is not on. But I do know of a lot of people who are maybe because of the work, like, their offices, because their office is centrally air conditioned, and they cannot move out. Like they're constantly over there. Theirs is a desk job, or that they cannot live without the AC. They have got so used to the AC that थोड़ी देर के लिए भी अगर AC बंद करोगे, that is not advisable. So you're saying that in itself it's not good.
It's not good at all. And especially even at night when the body is actually resting and healing and cleansing itself, it's very important that you don't use the AC and you have a well ventilated room with cross ventilation so that fresh air is flowing in and flowing out.
Right. So cross ventilation is important. And basically, so let's say in a day-to-day scenario, Swati, where certain people live in an area where maybe it is next to the road, or it is next to a place where traffic, where only pollution is coming in. So then what do you advise to these people?
Yes, then I usually advise people to have lots of plants in their homes.
Right. Right.
So these plants can actually absorb all the radiations or all the dust and all the pollution that's coming in constantly, and that can actually clean the air inside your house, and then you will have the fresh air to breathe that you really need to breathe.
Right. Swati, that reminds me, my astrology guru used to say that one of the remedies of infertility in men and women is to go and give water to people tree every morning, except on a particular day, every morning. And then earlier it was considered to be, oh, what will it do? But actually people tree releases a lot of oxygen, maximum oxygen in comparison to any other plant in the morning. And which is why these men and women are advised to go and water the people tree, so that oxygen will eventually balance out their hormones. That's what it reminded me of.
Very true, very true. That is a fact. So that is our second essential. So we can go ahead.
Your voice became low. Your voice became low.
Okay.
Okay, now
so
it's back.
Yeah. So now we can look at the third essential, and that is the water. So you need to drink a lot of water so that you are able to. Our body is nothing but 75% of water and 25% of solid. So to maintain this balance and to allow the body to do all its activities easily, there need to be good supply of water in your body. So you have to see to it that you're drinking a lot of water every day, and your food also should have a lot of water content. But usually the way we eat is like extremely dried food, like the roti, the rice, or the bread. All these are actually extremely dried food. As I was telling you, we actually don't know what our original food is. So when you really come to understand what it is, you'll understand that it is nothing but more of fruits and vegetables, which are actually more than 75% of water.
Right, right.
So when you eat food,
So Swati, is there anything as too much water? Like too much water you've consumed and that it has become over?
That's possible sometimes, because if there's a lot of toxicity in the body, then the kidneys will have to do a lot of filtration constantly.
Right.
So see to it that the quality of water is always good, and the best quality water is nothing but the water that you can get from the fruits and the vegetables, and this will never overburden your kidneys.
But we cook them so much, like fruits तो उसका juice बना लेते हैं हम.
नहीं, pure form में लेना है. उसे जिंदा फॉर्म में लेना है, उसे मार के नहीं खाना है.
हम वेजिटेबल्स का कत्ल करके उनको खाते हैं.
Yes, the moment you cook them, actually they are more like dead stuff. तो उसके अंदर जो live enzymes हैं, the live enzymes are no more live. So then the body actually finds it very difficult to digest or process it. So
these days, so they are pressure cooked. And we take it
yes,
a notch higher in killing them.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
ठीक है?
So basically, we should have more consumption of fruits in our diet.
Water.
And what I hear is that raw vegetables as far as possible. So basically, salads like cucumber, radish, carrot.
Yes.
Yeah. So whatever increase the salad content.
Yes. ठीक है? So this is about the water. So water की quantity अच्छी होनी चाहिए. You have to drink at least 2 liters of water a day, so then the body is able to cleanse your system constantly. And there's a lot of dry food that you eat. So to help it move, you need to give that water input constantly. Right. And next
obviously
comes
no burgers, no pizzas. Yeah. So obviously, sorry, no burgers, no pizzas, no pastas.
Yes. So next will be the earth, right? You have to get in contact with the earth also, because there's a magnetism in the earth which actually calms us down.
Oh.
Which we never realize. If I've seen this very clearly with lots of patients who come to me with depression or anxiety, when I take them into the garden, when I just allow them to be there barefoot and walk around in the garden in the sun with the fresh air, and when they are in contact with the earth, if they're just lying down on the earth, even that calms them down, and within half an hour you can see a change in their mental disposition.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
In fact, what you're telling me, Swati, now, what you're telling me reminds me of, again, one of the remedies which we give in astrology also, that somebody who has BP related issues or somebody who has overthinking issues, we recommend them to sleep on earth. And then when I went into deeper study, I realized that that's because earth has a rhythm, it's 7.83 hertz, and so does that's the rhythm of a brain also. So either we have started to overthink or underthink, basically the same, ki overproduce the toxins and stuff, and this brings us back to the natural rhythm. Wow.
Yes. And so I suggest that you also be barefoot as much as possible when you are in contact with nature.
Your voice is coming in and
out. Oh, really?
Now it is fine.
Okay. Fine. So whenever you are out there in nature, I suggest that you be barefoot, so that you actually are in touch with the soil or with the mud or the earth. ठीक है ना?
Right.
Otherwise, we are so much used to being in slippers and chappals all the time.
I'm sorry, please.
Yeah, like people all constantly need to wear the chappals and slippers all the time, or shoes. We just cannot imagine ourselves being barefoot, but we need to get into the habit of being barefoot if we really want to get the benefits of the earthing or the calming down that the earth can give us. It also helps our body to reduce the inflammations that are happening in the body.
So at home also you're saying that we can walk barefoot, irrespective of whether we are on the ground floor or on a above floor, higher floor?
Yes, at least not when you have the artificial tiles. As long as you are having natural stone as your flooring, marble or granite or something, it's good to be walking barefoot.
And wood?
Wood is even better. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wood and natural stone is good. If you have something artificial like the tiles, then it's better you wear some footwear, because outside, yes, outside when you're out there on the soil, then you better be barefoot only.
Yeah, right. And I was adding to that how outside India they have carpeted floors, right?
Yes.
So should they be walking barefoot on the carpeted floors also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
So that's yes, earth is also equally important.
And also, Swati, when we were growing up, we used to use a lot of multani mitti.
Yes.
what is it called?
Yeah.
Farmers, potter's earth or something like that.
Earth. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about that?
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
Multani Mitti?
Yeah. So it's equally like it was part of our natural living, you know, like people used to wash their hair with it, or wash their body also with it. So it is a very good cleanser, because it can actually take away the impurities from your body or your hair.
Right. Right.
And I can give you more examples, but I think that will really take up too much of time here. So I'll not go into
again gone.
Yeah. No, I will not go too much into more examples, because there are lots of examples where I can show you how powerful the earth is in removing the toxins. I'll just give you a small example. Once there was an insect bite on my daughter's thigh, and I did not know which insect had bitten her, but she had a huge red patch, and she was crying very loudly because the pain was unbearable, and there was a red spot in the middle also. So I just could not understand which insect had bitten her. But then one thing which I've learned from my childhood, because my father also was in the same line of practice. So anytime we had any kind of hurt or any kind of such bites, we would always go for the mud. So jo clay we always have at home. So I just applied some wet clay on her bite and let her be. And within a couple of minutes, she stopped crying because the pain had gone down completely. And
Wow.
I washed the mud after 2 hours, and what I see is all the redness had gone, and there was only that red spot where the insect had bitten was still there, but the pain was completely gone. And
the
this
inflammation had gone.
Yes, I have tried this on bee bites, bee stings also, and I've heard that this works equally well even for snake bites.
Oh, okay, okay, wow.
Yes. So this is the power of earth.
And I'm just saying that it's no coincidence that we humans have survived so far. Like all this pharma and all these medical things have
Chemicals.
just come recently. Chemicals and all of that healing has just come recently. We have been surviving since even before, when we were out in jungles. So I'm
Yes.
sure it had to do with these natural components.
We were thriving when we were out there in nature.
Thriving.
Actually,
I
we are
mean,
struggling now. We are struggling now.
Those are the people who have led to increase in population today, right? Like today we hear of infertility and all, but उस ज़माने में थोड़ा ना था. When they were living out there in the jungles, every woman used to have 20, 30 kids. I'm sure we all have our mothers and grandfathers who are like 10, 12
kids,
brothers and sisters.
Yeah. My grandma had around 24 siblings.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
अभी तो एक हो जाए तो oh my god, मैंने इतनी मुश्किल से
actually
sad but true. Yeah.
So then that's the earth. That's about the earth. And the next is the sky, and the sky is nothing but the representation of fasting or resting yourself, giving yourself space. So give as much space between your food intakes as possible. At night, try not to eat at all. So at least there's some intermittent fasting happening for 14 hours. You give your body that rest. So as I told you, that your body needs that space and time and energy available for its cleaning and healing. So the moment you start this intermittent fasting, the moment you stop eating with the sunset, and you start eating only after a couple of hours after the sun has risen, the body gets ample time to process whatever you have put inside yourself in the daytime.
Wow. Okay. So
then starts the breaking down of the toxins.
So Swati, I'll tell you what, even in our it's so amazing. I'm finding so many parallels of it to astrological remedies also. But what I was trying to say that when I recommend fasting to a lot of these people as remedies, a lot of times people get back to me saying that I can't fast because that aggravates acidity, or that aggravates headaches and stuff. So what is that, Swati, and what to do about it?
That's nothing but breaking down of the toxins. See, as I told you, pain is nothing but it is an information to you from your body saying that it is doing some processing, it is doing some activity wherein You need to allow the energy to be available. You're not supposed to be engaging your energy elsewhere. So you're supposed to be in rest. So the moment there's some breakdown happening, there'll be gas being released. And so that can cause a headache. There can be pain in any other part of the body. There can be discomfort. And all this is nothing but the body trying to break down the toxins and trying to move it towards the respective exits.
Wow. So you are saying that in the beginning, this might happen wherein the toxins are breaking down. So let it happen.
Yes, don't be frightened. See, awareness is the key for anything. The moment you know that what is happening is for my benefit, then you are okay with that pain and discomfort. Only if you are frightened that this might be something, some destruction might be happening inside, something might be breaking down, I may be like something really negative might be happening to me. This is the fear which actually keeps people away from fasting or doing anything which is really beneficial for them, because they are afraid of the discomfort, afraid of the pain. But the moment you know that this discomfort is nothing but the cleaning, it is nothing but the body trying to detox. And the moment you get this realization, then the pain is not that painful anymore. It just becomes very, very bearable, because you know that the body is doing something really, really beneficial for you.
Right.
Yes.
And eventually that pain might not even happen, like once the toxin component has reduced.
Yes, with time, the amount of toxins that will start going down, you'll start actually feeling more fresher, more energetic, and more alive actually. And this you will, people do start experiencing this very soon. And this is what actually hooks people onto all these practices.
Yeah, because it makes you feel good after a point.
Yes, because the moment you, unless you haven't tasted good health, you will never know what you are looking out for.
Absolutely, I agree with that. As somebody who has lost a lot of weight with certain practices, I know what you mean, because like you yourself are your comparison, who you were in the past, as not just as a body, but also as a person, and then who you go on to become. And another thing, Swati, which I have seen with fasting, and this is a personal experience, is that for some people, emotions come up. You know, those if there has so if you're fasting on a particular day continuously, that maybe toxins in the form of emotions come up. That, you know, how certain people would say Tuesday ko I fasted and I was generally angry, or Friday ko I fasted and I was generally I was very restless, you know. So these things, they come up, and I think that's also a way of body cleaning out that particular emotion for you.
It is actually emotional detox.
Yeah, right.
Because every toxin, the physical toxin, is bound along with some emotional toxin, which we don't realize. Like they all go hand in hand. So the moment the body is ready to release some physical toxin, you can also feel some emotional toxin being released. So there might not be any trigger around, but you will still feel some negative emotion. And you just need to be aware that my body is releasing it, so I should just allow it to be released, instead of trying to put this on to somebody else and trying to create a new cycle of chain reactions. It's better you just allow it to pass on from you and just allow it to move out.
Yeah,
so it is nothing but emotional detox.
Yeah, in the beginning, hungry was very real for me. Bhook lagti thi, and I used to be like, oh, boo, boo, boo. You know?
Yes.
So yeah, but it was something which was within me only. As I always say, that whatever is in the cup will only spill out, and nobody is perfect. But also, that is before we finish our essentials, Swati, it's just, I'm amazed to see that how our ancients had already inbuilt that in our culture. Like in our culture, we already have through Navratras and through Ekadashis and through all of these practices, we already have practice of fasting.
Yes. So basically, see, what I understand is India has all the knowledge, all the information, but we have just started forgetting it because we have been influenced so hugely by the marketing that's happening for people to sell their products. So we have just been brainwashed very badly. Like we have literally forgotten to listen to ourselves. if not to the information or the knowledge that our grandparents or our forefathers passed on to us, we have forgotten to remember them, and we have also forgotten to listen to our own bodies.
True.
Because the body is constantly giving you the right instructions, we tend to overlook it, or we take it differently, and we act in a wrong manner. We don't take the right action, and this leads to even more graver diseases.
Concerns. Yeah.
Yes.
And obviously it is like, and then those diseases also, Swati, they're not easy. They're painful only. PCOD,
Actually,
PCOS, endometriosis,
every single thing.
all of them, they're so painful.
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
they're not easy to deal with that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So now we have covered earth, sun, sun, water, air, earth, and
Yes.
what else?
The sky, the space.
Sky.
Yeah.
Right.
So now
we
it's
are left with
already
four.
8. Yeah. So let me just sum up the rest of the 4 fast. The next is live food. Like eating as much as live food is going to help you to add, help the body to remove the toxins faster, because the body it can recognize the live food as its natural food very easily because of the live enzymes available in the fresh fruits and vegetables. So the more fresh fruits and vegetables you're going to eat, the body is able to be going to save on its energy, which it would have otherwise been spending on breaking down and digesting the food. Because when you eat a cooked meal, when you eat a more complicated meal or a complicated or processed food, the body has to exert more energy, has to spend more energy in breaking it down and processing it. So to save that energy and time, it's better you give yourself as much as fresh fruits and vegetables. That will help your body in conserving its energy and using it for other activities. Right? So this is where I call you need to make the food habit changes, and this is the major food habit change that you need to look at. Right? And the next will be movement, because the body is designed to move. The more you will move, the more body is able to be move the toxins out, because the toxins are, as I told you, it's all over the body, in every cell, in every part, every organ. It can be concentrated more in certain parts but less in the other, but it is still there everywhere. And the body is designed in such a way that only when you move your muscles, the movement of the muscles is going to give that push to those toxic stuff to move out towards the respective exits.
Okay.
So the more you're going to be sitting in one place, the lesser type of activity, physical activity you're going to do, you are going to actually help the body to retain the toxins for a longer time.
Right. So which is why a lot of people who work in the corporate culture and that their job is to sit in front of the screen all the time, a lot of them, they also face constipation issues.
And that's the beginning. That is like the physical manifestation of the beginning of a disease.
Right. Right.
Yes. So this is why I keep telling people that you need to have some movement in your body, like every day. Like either as you grow, you stop to play and move around the way you used to do as a child. So it's better
your voice has become low. Your voice has become low. Yeah, now it's fine.
So, yes. So as you grow, you tend to stop playing like the way you used to play as a kid. So it's better you get into the practice of doing yoga every day, or go for a swim, or go for walks, and either take part in any outdoor sport, so that you're able to do all kinds of movements. Gardening is also a very good form of movement. So the more you're going to move your body, the body is going to be able to remove the toxins faster.
Right, right.
Yeah. So even if you're having a desk job, every half an hour, you better get up from the desk, you do a couple of stretches, you go drink a glass of water from a distance, so that you walk around a bit. And that way you keep some movement as part of your daily routine.
Right, right.
Yes. And next is sleep. Sleep is also equally important, because the more, the optimum amount of sleep you're going to give to your body, that is when the body actually breaks down the toxins. That is the time when you have stopped all the inputs. And just because you've stopped all the inputs, the body gets the time to break down whatever you have put inside yourselves all through the day. And it gets things ready in the morning to be thrown out. So that time of sleep is very important. Very often people understand, they think like 8 hours of sleep is enough. So if I sleep at 2 a.m. in the morning and wake up at 11 in the morning, I still have got 8 hours of sleep. But then please try to make a note for yourself. When you wake up at 11, do you wake up fresh? You won't.
Plus, you have lost the first essential, which is sun.
Yes. So you're supposed to be sleeping in the early hours of the night, like as early as possible. The more rested you're going to be, the body is going to be able to process the toxins and remove the toxins better.
Right.
So जितना जल्दी सोओगे उतना आपका body heal हो पाएगा.
Right. And then you will be able to wake up in the Brahma Muhurat also.
Yes. It should happen naturally. Which should happen naturally. आपको force नहीं करना पड़ेगा. अगर आप अच्छे से सो चुके हो, तो you will wake up eventually.
Right.
So you just need to get into the habit of sleeping early. It's as simple as that.
Right. So by early, what do you mean? What time?
Time before 9 p.m., which is something unimaginable for today's generation. But between 6 to 9, anytime.
Right. I think it also has to do with the body rhythm, right? Because body naturally also
produces. It's the circadian rhythm. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So it's actually connected with the sun, because our every activity of our body is connected with the activity movement of the sun. So the moment the sun has gone down, our body starts shutting down. The body does not want to do any activity. This is why I suggest that people don't eat after the sun has set, because the body does not want to do even that digestive work.
Right.
So the moment the sun is gone, the body wants to sleep. And just because we have lights available, we tend to keep awake so late in the night.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because in the earlier days, electricity wasn't there. So anyways, the diyas and
you had to sleep. By default.
Only the rich people could have afforded so much ghee, so much teil, and thus the diyas.
But even with the diyas, they would still sleep early only, because with so little light, there's not much that they could do at night.
So, you know, Swati, actually, I went to this Ayurveda center a couple of years back, and this is exactly what we were following over there. At 9 o'clock, we used to sleep. The day I arrived over there, I was like, 9 o'clock, who sleeps at 9 o'clock? But somehow, this is what was happening, right? That there was no internet connection over there. So we couldn't have got ourselves distracted by the phone. And we were waking up very early in the morning for yoga and all of that. Plus, there was a meditation routine that we were having clean food and all. Swati, naturally at 8:30, we used to be like, oh my God, now I have to hit the bed. I am
exactly.
And we used to wake up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. All the clients who stay with me for their healing, this is what we go through. Very often people come with the complaint of like they say, I just can't go to sleep, mujhe insomnia hai. But once they get into the rhythm here, within a day or two, they start getting sleep by 8:30. By 8:30, they'll say, okay, now we are tired, we need to go to bed. So this happens eventually. You just need to put certain habits in the place, and you'll see that the body starts giving you the right cues at the right minute.
Yeah, I am an example of it. And Swati, also when you say that that they start experiencing it here, so we'll quickly finish the 9 essentials, and please tell us what do you mean by here, and how can people contact?
Yes, okay, yes.
So this was about
8-1, and the last one is elimination. कि we have to be aware कि हमारा पेट हर रोज साफ होता है नहीं होता है. Are we eliminating every single day? Because constipation is a sign that the body has started retaining old matter in it. So what you need to do is you have to be aware every day कि आज if I have eaten a certain amount all through the day, have I eliminated either equal or a little more the next day? Very often it is not. We eat 3, 4, 5 times a day, and we have only one bowel movement a day. So this is not the right ratio. So this shows that there's a lot of retention happening in the system. Right? So become aware of it and see to it that you having a couple of more bowel movements a day. The rhythm is set. The body is able to throw out. you just need to be aware, and when you put all these habits in line, the
Right.
body will start declogging. Once it is declogged, then the rhythm will be set, and the body is going to get in the habit of at least having 2 bowel movements a day, at least. It can also be 3,
Oh,
depending on the, yes, depending on the clean flow in your intestines. When the intestines are cleaned up, the food will have free movement, and it will really be eliminated in time.
right. So these days, Swati, a lot of Ayurvedic centers, they also have something which is known as enema.
Yes,
Basically, is that advisable? Enema
I
is
usually don't.
basically, yeah.
I usually don't advise that, because see, we have 22 feet of intestine. You
Okay.
can use the enema only for the large intestine alone. And basically, if you are constipated at the cellular level.
Okay.
So no enema is going to reach every cell of your body.
Hmm.
So ultimately, it is your body that is going to do the removal of the toxic matter from each and every cell. So you just need to do what you need to do, wherein the body is able to do its own cleaning. So try
Right.
to get into that habit, and not into just trying to take a couple of enemas, and that like
Yeah.
the enemas can be helpful when you're constipated for a couple of days, but
Right.
otherwise it's not of much help. The body needs to learn to work on its own ultimately.
Right. Right. So wow, these things were taken so much for granted, Swati,
Yes,
right? Sun and the air and
exactly.
earth, the water,
Yes, yes,
sleeping, excreting.
yes. See, ultimately, अब ये सब देखोगे तो लगेगा कि यार ये तो हमारी लाइफ में ऑलरेडी था.
बट नहीं होता ना, इतना अलाइंड होता कहाँ है, तभी तो वो प्रॉब्लम्स
हमने
आती हैं.
हमने उसे किया ही नहीं. We haven't really
Your voice
all
is
these
breaking. Swati, hold on,
abundant.
hold on. Swati, you're frozen and your
Yes.
voice is breaking a lot.
Okay. Okay. Now can you hear me?
हाँ, हाँ. But
अब सुन सकते हो? हाँ.
हाँ, but the
हमने,
bit.
या, प्रकृति में सब कुछ हमारे लिए फ्रीली अवेलेबल है.
Hmm.
But we have forgotten how to really tap into it or get good help out of all that. So जैसे ही you change your lifestyle, जैसे ही you introduce all these elements of nature or these essential elements in your life, you will see that the body starts detoxing fast. And when the
Right.
body has detoxed, whether it's your PCOD, or if it's your endometriosis, or it's your menopause time, the body is going to be, the moment the body is going to get cleaner, your pains, your health issues are going to vanish one after the other.
Wow. Wow. So, Swati, you were saying that there are many people you have helped through your natural healing at your
Yes,
place. So please, if you could speak a little
yes,
about that, how do they contact you?
yes.
What is it that you offer?
Yeah. Yeah. So I offer help in 3 different categories. Like I conduct once in a couple of months, I conduct an online workshop, which is for 21 days, and wherein like we have every day we have live yoga sessions in the morning, and evening we have the educational sessions where I talk about all these 9 essentials, and what are the things that we really need to introduce in our lives to be really healthy. And that's more of educative thing. So 21 days, if you just do this workshop, you can equip yourself with the knowledge which you can really take forward to keep yourselves healthy all through your life.
Okay.
That's one thing that I offer. The other 2 things are, if you are having some health issue or some health problems, you can get help from me. Like people can enroll for hand holding.
Okay.
So I offer hand holding for 1 month or 3 months, or depending on their health issues. And if they need, they can really keep on taking the hand holding. They can keep on renewing it until they really think that they have learned or experienced, or they are in a state where now they can take care of themselves. And this I
So
do
Swati,
online.
yeah. So what do you mean by hand holding, and for what all concerns can they contact?
Yes. For anything from cold to cancer. every health issue.
Cancer too?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. So basically, as I told you, disease is nothing but toxins in the body.
Right.
Yeah. So I help when people come for handholding, online handholding to me. I do a consultation with them. I assess their state of their physical health and their mental health, and then I give them a diet and a routine chart which they need to follow every day. And every day we have this yoga sessions in the morning, online, live, and in the in the daytime we have a time when we talk, wherein like I try to explain to them or I try to help them with their day-to-day challenges, and I keep educating them over the time. And this is
So
how I
Swati,
just work them through the process of
right.
healing.
Right. So Swati, if somebody has endometriosis and PCOD, PCOS, so they can get in touch with you in this
Of course.
online hand-holding thing, and you can
Yes.
provide them diets and all, which can help them detox
Yes.
and there are and you've seen results with it, like you've actually
Yes.
treated such, right? Okay.
Yes, 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 lots.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
And the third thing that I offer is like sometimes people find it really difficult to follow this at home.
Right.
And this is when people can come and stay with me at my home. I have one part of my home dedicated to just
Your voice is
nature
gone.
care.
Your voice has gone.
Yeah, one part of my home has been dedicated to nature cure only. So there are 3 rooms, and people can pre-book a room, and they can come and stay with me for a month or 2, according to their health issue. And I help them to heal themselves. I educate them and I guide them through the whole process. We provide with the treatments and the diet and everything, and this helps them to heal faster. And
Right.
yeah, these are the
So
3
where is
things
it?
I
Where is
offer.
this home, and how do they contact you, Swati?
Yeah, I live in Arcot, which is in Tamil Nadu, near Vellore.
Right.
Yes, and my website is antahasatwa.com,
I'll just put it in the
www.antahasatwa.
yeah. I'll just put it in the group also.
Yeah, if you want, I can just share all the handles with you
That
so
will
that
be great. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that will
I'll
be
do
great.
that. Yeah,
Here,
I'll just
I'll
share
just put it in the chat.
Antahasatwa.
Antahasatwa.com.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's somebody's typed it wrong here. I'll just type it here. Yes.
So
So
iPhone,
that's
please, Swati has just mentioned it, www.antahasatva, which is ANTAHASATVA,
yes.
antahasatva.com. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What you have put there is perfectly correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So 3 ways. Either you can contact Swati online for a one-on-one, or if you feel that you're not one of those who will be able to, and that you can visit her in Vellore, then you may contact her through antahasatva.com.
Yes.
And what was the first one you had said, Swati?
That's the 21-day workshops that I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I put ads on my, I just put it on my Instagram page or on my Facebook page
Right.
or on, yeah, and people can just see that and they can contact me. And yeah, I'll just share all the handles so that people can
Yes.
yeah, contact me through any of those.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
with that, I would also like to let everybody know that not to miss out on this opportunity, because Swati, in fact, I know Swati, I know you since almost 6, 7 years now, or maybe like quite a
Yes.
lot of years
Yes,
now.
yes.
And
Yes.
I remember that how in the very beginning I was fascinated of the stories of the case, not even, I wouldn't call them stories, they were case studies of actual people whom she had. I remember that there was gangrene that we had discussed that you had
Yes.
healed, right?
Yes.
Gangrene is basically a very, very advanced
Yes.
toxicity in the foot of diabetic
Yes.
people.
Where people, like when the doctors start cutting parts of your feet, and
Correct.
sometimes people end up losing their feet or leg also.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
was healed. Then there was another case study she told me of somebody going through a cancer concern. And since then, Swati, I've been very fascinated. And I remember how we discussed about your how you got it in legacy from your grandfather, right?
Yes,
So
father.
anything which comes as a legacy, so anyways, that fascinates me. And today, with the womb healing, there are many people, many women here who are connected with me through my womb healing gatherings. And I was like, what if I could be discussed, and you were gracious enough to offer your expertise in that line also. So great. Thank you so much, Swati. Somebody in the comment has asked that her daddy has spinal pain.
Okay.
I mean the mankas. Is it possible to heal through nature cure?
Yes, yes, of course, it can be.
So yes, so Swati is saying yes, and in fact, what I'm saying, oh, acha, ye direct message that's happening. So definitely, it is possible to cure. Do visit her website also. Swati will send me all the links. I'll send it on the group, and maybe I will email
Yes,
it to everybody, Swati, so that whoever has not attended can also know about
yes.
it. And I would say, while it is available, make the most of it. Swati, thank you so much for giving a precious, busy time for this lovely discussion and explaining everything to us in detail, breaking so many myths for us. I think one of my top takeaways is that menstruation is a natural way of detoxing, which has been given to us all women
Yep.
as a gift of God.
Yep.
So I
Thank
will
you
also
so much for this
encourage.
opportunity. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Swati. I will also encourage all of you women, all of you 25 women here who are listening to me, please mention your topmost takeaway from this session
Yes.
in the group, or maybe put it on Instagram and tag Swati and tag me over there, so that through you this information reaches out to all the women who you have the power to influence,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Aparna is saying she wants to contact you. So I am putting the links in the group right away. And thank you so much. Thank you, Swati. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Thank you so much.
Radhe.
Yeah. Thank you.